Hello, everyone, and welcome to another reaction discussion. Not really reaction, just discussion. I wasn't really prepared for that intro, but we're gonna be talking about the season of One Punch Man, season two. It's gonna be spoiler heavy. I tried not to talk about spoilers the last time I did the Mob Psycho season two and Promised Neverland discussion, and it didn't go over very well because I wasn't able to talk thoroughly about how I felt about the show or either of those shows without delving into spoilers. So for this one, I will be talking about certain spoilers, but not all of them. But if you haven't watched the show, probably not a good idea to watch this video. But anyways, so One Punch Man season 2. Now, to get one thing out of the way, right off the bat is the animation. So obviously that was everyone's biggest issue or biggest worry at least going into the season because they had the trailer and when we got that reveal trailer, everyone automatically was like hating on One Punch Man season 2. Everyone hated it right off the bat. And I'm super heated right now because of IGN's review this season. Listen, Huggy Face. I did not know they gave such a harsh review on the season. I looked up IMDb or whatever it's called, Rotten Tomatoes and IGN. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have any number for it. I believe IMDb has something I can't remember. I have it up on here, but I'll get into that in a bit. It just has it for each episode individually. But IGN's review, man, they did not like season 2 whatsoever. And a lot of people like share their feelings of hating on season 2. But what I think it is, this is how it is. It's the same thing that happened with Game of Thrones. It's not that the people hate the season or the series. It's the fact that some people hate it and then a bunch of other people jump onto that bandwagon and they just all enjoy the hate together. Because I'm sure there's tons of people who don't mind it or who don't think anything of it, but they see people hating on it, so then they hate it on it too. And it seems to happen a lot, and it's so annoying when that happens. But I feel like that's what it is, because yes, it was definitely not as good as season 1, and I think we all knew it wouldn't be. The very instant that we heard that they were moving from Madhouse to a different studio, I think everyone knew it wasn't going to be the same. I think everyone knew it wasn't going to be as top quality as it was in season 1. And that's what got everybody angry. And people held on to that anger, I think, all the way through the entire season 2. I tried not to. My biggest frustration is that looking back on it, seeing how the story plays out and what happens and all that, my frustration is how glorious this season could have been if they stayed in the same studio. As a fan of the series, it hurts to see them take it and just not live up to its potential. And I hate that it comes down to that, because this show had loads of potential. This season should have had more potential to be even more popular than season 1. If they had the same animation and production team as season 1, then it would have been just as amazing. Actually, I believe it would have been more amazing than season 1. Because the story, to me, was much better than season 1's story. Season 1's story, it didn't really have a story as much as just introducing the world, introducing the characters, and showing us that Saitama can't be beaten by anybody. That was season 1. Season 2 sets up the villains, sets up a big, large story arc that is gonna be encompassing the rest of the story for now. It looks like, anyways. So that's what made it better for me. But then the animation, the production, the laziness that they had in this season, it was disgusting. I feel like when I watched season 1, that the people who animated it, the people who like produced it, were like really super fans of the series. And then when it comes to season 2, I feel like it was people who didn't really give a crap one way or the other of the series. They were just like, well, this is another job. This is another animation job I have to do. And that's basically what it felt like for season 2. That they didn't give their all for it. It was kind of just like they half-assed it, and then that's the best it could do. There were moments that were amazing in season 2 that I had my jaw drop like at the spectacular animation and action, but it was just moments. In season 1, it was like all the time I was like that, but season 2 it was just certain moments that I was like, yes, this is amazing, and then it just stops right there. So the biggest things I take away from this season, one of which is that they took Saitama and they kind of shoved him aside to focus on all of the side characters. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we need to learn more about the side characters and their goals and their powers and how they are and all that stuff. So it was nice that Saitama kind of got shoved aside a little bit to play video games with King and just hang out and whatever. He did go in that tournament, but it was very short-lived because he was just there one-punching everybody and then he leaves just to come back and save Suiryu. So that was one thing they did. The second thing they did is they added a couple of characters. To me anyways, they added a couple of characters that were pivotal to the story and everything around it. That's what a lot of people did not like about this season. The main fact that it does not revolve around Saitama. Well, that's the thing. So people always say there's two sides to it. One side is like, yes, we don't need Saitama to be in the story because the story would get really boring if he just comes in and one punches every villain and that's the whole story. Is a new villain, one punch, dead. Another villain, one punch, dead. For me, that's not the case. I actually don't mind if he did that. Whenever he one punches an enemy, it's such a nice feeling. But that's one side. The other side is like, no, like, yeah, get Saitama out of the way. Or actually, they love it. Either they love it or they want Saitama off the story. They want more punches, they want less punches. That's the two sides. And what they did was they shoved him aside and just had him here and there to give some advice. But mainly it was the side characters, which the side characters are awesome. There's some cool side characters. So the other two characters that I was talking about that kind of held this season up, the first one is Suiryu. When Suiryu was introduced in the tournament, he was the interesting character of the tournament. He was the one that was like all the other characters just felt like randomly placed. Like the weird guys who were like, oh, I'm going to kill everybody here, or I'm going to beat everybody up, I'm going to win this tournament. My family's the greatest race or whatever. All those weird characters. But Suiryu was in there like, this guy's interesting. I want to know what he's about. Punch Goku not dead. Thanks, Rain Spartacus. Well, I don't know about that. That's a whole nother debate on a whole different scale. When it comes to my opinion on that, it's kind of like we have to wait and see until the story of One Punch Man is completely finished. Because until we see Saitama's limits, we know Goku's limits. We know what his limits are. But we have not seen Saitama's limits. So until we see what he is like when he's like up against the wall, then we'll never know who's gonna win. We probably never will. But anyways, you know your stuff. Just having a laugh. Love DBZ, that's all. Yes, I love DBZ as well, so I understand. For me, I didn't grow up on DBZ, so I have more of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I love DBZ and I love One Punch Man. So for me, I'm kind of neutral on both. Like, I can compare. I don't have like hatred for anyone who says Saitama can beat Goku or the other way around or whatever. I'm not like that. But anyways, Suiryu was the one character that was like, he made the tournament interesting. Like, when it came to Suiryu and how he's amazingly strong, but when it came to like Goketsu and them, the beating that he got was so unreal that I can't believe that he didn't die. I know. I feel like Boros might actually be the strongest opponent he ever faces. That's how I feel. I feel like as far as Garou goes, because Garou is kind of like a villain in training. Garou is like he's starting weak, but even though he's really strong, but he's starting in a weak place, and he's slowly becoming stronger to become that villain for Saitama. But I don't think anybody, even him, will come as close to Boros, because Boros was like on like a Dragon Ball Z level type of character. I need to watch One Punch Man. Been so busy with time, I have not watched one episode, and so I have all this to come. Sounds like it's gonna be good when I start. If you haven't watched season one, then you're in for a ride, because that is an amazing season. If you haven't watched season two, just know that it's not the same. Not one episode. Wow, okay. Well, start season one for sure. Definitely watch season one because season one blew up and was just amazing. Yeah, if you've seen clips, there's plenty of clips in season one for sure. It's an amazing show. We need a Suiryu versus Garou. That would have been cool. And I actually was thinking that. I was thinking that a Suiryu versus Garou would have been interesting since they both use martial arts and they're both really strong. That I actually wish we would have seen what would have happened. I think Garou would have won only because he seems to have a more like powerful type of martial art. When it came to Suiryu, his martial art was basically normal martial arts, just the punches and kicks and dodges and all that stuff. But Garou has like a specific martial art that's like using their opponent's energy against them type of stuff. Garou seems very Saiyan-like. A little bit. Like he gets stronger the more he fights, which is very Saiyan-like. And the more he gets beat down and like almost killed basically, the stronger he gets. So he is very Saiyan-like. I never thought about it that way until you said that. But thanks for joining in, Solo. I'll start soon. Would be good to be able to understand fully your views on this. Definitely. Like once you watch the series, if you're able to come back to this and rewatch and watch this discussion, hopefully if you do, you'll understand everything that I'm talking about. So yeah, Suiryu was one character that really brought this show interesting. Because there was a few episodes before Suiryu was really introduced that were kind of bland, but when he came into the picture, he made things interesting. His ego, his arrogance, and then when he gets beat down to almost death and has to beg for a hero, because this guy doesn't think highly of heroes. He thinks heroes are just wannabes, he thinks they're weak, that they're just pretending to be strong, but then they get beat down and all this crap. But then when he actually gets beat down himself and needs a hero to save him, Saitama comes to the rescue and changes this whole guy's life. Like this guy, in the end, he wants to be a hero himself. So it was a really cool character development moment just in the middle of the story that really, it brought the season up for me. And then his hair change, hopefully they explain that next season. Yeah, his hair change was interesting. There was one guy in the comments on one of my reviews that said that his hair was red because he rubbed blood in his hair, which I don't believe that. He did rub his hair, so it's like, okay, fine. His hair is like grayish white, maybe it would turn red. But that doesn't explain his eyeball changing. His eyeball changed red. And it's like, oh, God. To me, it was more of a transformation of him turning into a monster. Kind of like how Saitama was an ordinary dude and trained, wanted, and inspired like to be a hero and became a hero. And there's some monsters that are like, yeah, I ate a whole bunch, like the crab guy. I ate a whole bunch of crab meat and I turned into a crab monster. So people do transform in this world. So I think that's what's happening to Garou is the more he focuses on being a monster and surpasses his limits, the actual change is happening to his body. Is what I think it is, anyways. I'll start soon would be good to be able to. Oh yeah, I already read that. I'm so sorry. Does it start off telling you how he is so strong, or you find out later? You kind of find out later. Because it doesn't start off, it starts off like his past and what made him want to become a hero, but you find out what he did to become strong, but it makes no sense to him becoming strong because it's like it's something that anybody could do if they really tried. Anybody could do it, but for some reason when he did it, he got godlike powers. So I feel like there's something more to the story that we're not getting, which is really interesting. Either he's never going to explain it just to keep the mystery, or maybe we'll someday get a true explanation, but who even knows? Right, not to spoil you, but it is mentioned how he got that strong early on in season 1. Yeah, like I just said, it does mention how he got that strong. It's just not really an explanation because anybody could do it. Thanks. Okay, I'm not spoiling anything for me, just more curious. Right. Sorry if I am spoiling anything, because I'm not, I am going to be talking about spoilers in this discussion, and season 2 at least, because it's hard not to talk about the show and not talk about spoilers, because then it's just like, yeah, it was good. Bye. So I have to talk about spoilers. But the other character that really brought this season up was Garou. I feel like Garou was the one character that really, really had this season on his shoulders. Because if it wasn't for Garou, then I don't feel like this season would have been that great. Because every single time Garou was in the episode was really good. And then when he wasn't in an episode, it was kind of a bland, mediocre episode. Except for when Suiryu was around, because he made it interesting. But that Garou was the main one. For me, Garou was the character that I was most interested in. Like, every time he was around, I was invested in the show, and I was trying to figure out his story, what he's about, how strong will he get, and the struggle that he has of wanting to become a monster, because he really looks down on heroes. Mainly because to him, heroes are like, they are all about arrogance, their own self-interest, popularity. He thinks that heroes should be protecting the weak. But in his whole life, in his backstory, he was weak, and yet the people who pretended to be heroes bullied him. So his mind got all weird about it. Hey Gabriella, thank you for joining. You, killer you, I have no idea what you're saying. I have no idea what we're talking about. But anyways, thank you for joining. Leave a like if you don't mind. I'm shocked that he was teased in season 1, but I didn't even know. He was teased. And I remember seeing that where Silver Fang mentioned his disciple that went on a rampage, beat up all his students and left. And then I think at the end or something we see a glimpse or something of him. I can't remember. It might have been when he was talking about, when Silver Fang was talking about it, we saw like a silhouette or something. But yeah, you can really tell he's kind of the main, like the main villain of this series so far, which is interesting because he's got his butt kicked twice now by Saitama. And very easily, by the way. He got knocked out both times. So I want to see how strong this guy gets before it's an interesting fight. I would like to see the Monster King get serious. That's the thing too. Now this is my theory in my mind right now. Is the Monster King is not the main villain. I think Garou is the main villain. So the Monster King is kind of, to me, he's kind of just a placement for now. Like, maybe he is super strong. I think he's super strong, but I don't think he's going to be the main issue of this arc. I think it's going to be Garou. I think Garou is going to be the one to be the guy to beat. But, I mean, it'll be cool to see if Saitama ever fights the Monster King, because that guy, his character design is so cool. He looks so amazing. I love his character design. And a lot of the designs for the monsters, a lot of them are really interesting and really cool. There's a few of them that are like really random and weird, but most of them are really good. The guy, because I know one is the guy who does the story and he writes it, but his drawings are really, really crap. So the other guy who does his drawings for him, that guy has an amazing sense of taking a crappy drawing and making it look spectacular. I don't know how that guy does it, but his designs that he does when he makes them are spectacular. Yeah, they're awesome. I love them. But yeah, Garo was the one that really held this season up, and I'm interested to see where his story goes from here because he started to like transform into a monster by the end of this season, especially fighting against his teacher because he was getting the crap beat out of him. I mean, he had like practically no chance against his master. Especially Genos was giving him a hard time, but when Silverfang showed up, that's when it was all over. So he was lucky he got out of there in time. So let's look real quick before I keep talking. Let's look at some reviews on season 2. So on IMDb, all they have for it is review or ratings for particular episodes, not like the whole season as a whole. So like episode 1 got an 8.3 out of 10, which is actually it's not too bad for a first episode. Second one got 8.7. The Hunt Begins, the third episode, got a 9.2 out of 10, which is pretty good. That's the one where Saitama karate chops Garou on the shoulder, knocks him out, which was amazing. When he shows up and wants to beat, because he thought that he was a hero that was like gonna come after him, but he was just in the way of Saitama's shopping. And then when he attacks Saitama and it did nothing, and he's just like, "Are you trying to rob me?" It was amazing. I'll come back to you and watch some of your other videos. Glad you caught. God caught you live. Take care. You got me more interested in One Punch Man. That's good that I got you more interested in it because it's an amazing show. I love it. Season 2 felt like a very generic and like a very normal anime, but season 1 was on top tier level. So I hope you watch it, and thank you for joining me. Hopefully I catch you some other time, Spartacus. So thank you so much. So Metal Bat got a 7.8. Now I heard a lot of gripe about Metal Bat. So the episode after that got a 7.4, which was the martial arts tournament. That's when it begins. But when Metal Bat fights against Elder Centipede and Garou, apparently, from what I've seen in the comments, apparently in the manga, it was like an amazing fight. Metal Bat versus the Centipede was an amazing fight. But apparently, because I mean, when I watched it in the anime, to me it's like, was this an amazing fight in the manga? Because this is kind of a normal, pitiful fight. Anytime. If you like DBZ and I trust your reviews and other anime manga, speak soon. Yeah, see, that's the thing. When if Dragon Ball Super ever comes back, I will be reviewing those episodes. But until then, I don't have anything Dragon Ball related to talk about except for maybe the video games. But I'm mainly waiting for the episodes to come out because I know that it'll be a big thing to talk about when it comes back, whenever it comes back. But yeah, I'm a DBZ fan, so I'm glad you trust my judgment. Yeah, so Metal Bat's fight against Centipede apparently was really amazing in the manga, but wasn't really translated well in the anime because of lazy animation and production, which that's sad to hear, but that's kind of how it felt the whole time. The Uprising of Monsters, episode 6, got a 7.8. To me, this was probably the weakest episode because it was so freaking random. It had so many monsters, so many unnecessary fights between these monsters that I'm like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? Why do I care about this? The gorilla guy that was killing or fighting heroes with bananas and stuff. He was a military gorilla or something. I don't even freaking know, but there's a lot of monsters that were just so random and so out of place and so I don't care. Can we get back to the tournament? Can we get back to Garou? I don't know why we had to see some of it. That was the slowest episode for me by far. The manga made it very intense. Well, if it was intense in the manga, It didn't do that great in the anime. It wasn't that intense in the anime. It was like normal. It was like a normal fight that you see in any anime, I guess. I don't know. I don't. He got his butt kicked really fast, and that was it. um, Class S Heroes. So episode 7 got a 9.1. I believe that's the one where Saitama makes it to the finale, yeah, and fights against Suiryu. So I got a 9.1. That one did pretty well. The one after that, episode 8, got an 8.7, which to me, episode 8 was amazing. If that's the one where, yeah, so that's when Goketsu arrives and fights Suiryu. That was an amazing episode. That episode had me like, oh my god, Suiru's gonna die here. Watching Suiryu struggle and fighting as hard as he possibly can against Goketsu and Bakuzan. This poor guy, I have felt bad for him. He may have been arrogant and thinking he's all of that, but no, he did not deserve to get annihilated like he did. I mean, he had every bone in his body had to have been broken after that fight. So I don't know why that one got a less better rating than the one before it, but whatever, I guess. Wait, did Garou beat the dog class S hero? Well, I don't know. If you haven't watched it, it's me a spoiler for you. He did not beat the watchdog hero. Garou got his butt kicked by the watchdog hero. He couldn't read his movements. He had like an all fours move like technique or something, and he just annihilated Garou. Garou had to get the hell out of there, which is so hilarious because watchdog hero looks like one of the weakest heroes I've ever seen in my life. I mean, his face, the plain like serious face, wearing the dog suit, like what the hell is he? I watched it, I just don't remember. Well, yeah, Garou got his butt kicked. He did not win at all. The only thing Garou got out of that fight was learning the technique of Watchdog Hero to fight against Genos and manage to get Genos' arm. But that's as far as that went, pretty much. And the fact that we didn't even get to see the fight, we got to see a bit of it, but they used that stupid blur effect where everything's moving really fast, and it's like the same movement, but they're trying to make it look like it's a lot of different movements. Hate when they did that. They did that so much this season. Yeah, I remember that. Well, there you go. That's what happened. Episode 9 got an 8.3. That's the one that had Sonic in it, I believe, when he tries to he cooks the monster cells. And he doesn't turn into a monster because you're not supposed to cook them. You have to eat them raw. But he's like, no one's gonna eat this raw. What the hell? Episode 10 was Garou encounters a serious threat. I think that's when Garou got cornered by all the heroes. At least by the end of the episode. I think the other one was when we saw King Orochi, the king monster, eat one of his own guys because they lost against Genos. Which that kind of gave you a tiny taste of how powerful that guy is. That he just kind of grabbed one guy and just ate him like it was nothing. But, I mean, we'll see, I guess. I have to go. I don't know if I'll be back in time. Alright, thank you so much, Solo, for joining. Make sure you like before you leave, but thank you so much for joining. Definitely appreciate your input, because it's nice to have people to talk to on here when I'm chatting about One Punch Man. The one after that, Everyone's Dignity, episode 11, got a 9.2, which that was an amazing episode. Episode 11, when Garou was fighting against all the heroes and using all of these techniques, learning their moves. The animation was really good. The way he just beat the crap out of everybody, even Gatling Gun, he managed to defeat. He defeated everyone. While he was tired, feverish, poisoned, he's hurt, and yet he still beat everybody like it was the easiest thing ever. So it was an awesome episode. And then the final episode, episode 12, got a 9.1. I think it deserves a 10 out of 10. Episode 12, for me, it got a 10 out of 10 because that episode the animation was really, really good compared to most of the season. It actually felt a tiny bit like season 1. So, hold on. In my opinion, the only good episodes were 3, 11, and 12. I actually liked episode 2, I think, a little bit. What was episode 3? Hold on, I have to go back. Episode 3. Episode 3 was good. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And 11 and 12. 11 and 12 were the highlights, I think, of the whole entire season, especially 12. 12 really did it for me. Especially when we finally got to see a punch from Saitama. It feels like this whole season they've been like not showing his punches. You see the aftermath and the monster's completely dead. But it's like I want to hear and feel the thud of his fist exploding a monster into bits. We didn't get that. We got that so many times in season 1, and then here we had to wait all the way until the last episode to see him take down a monster. But whatever, I guess. It was a really cool hit. The only problem I have with his punch in episode 12 is it felt a little bit too much like his punch against Boros. The wind up, the way he punches, even the angles they used, everything felt a lot like him punching Boros, his energy blast back at him. I swear we got more punches in season 1, episode 1 than we did in all season 2. We got so many punches in episode 1. It's true, because he punches, like, what? So many monsters in that one. The giant one, the that random car one, the one in the very beginning that looks like Purple Piccolo. It's true, he punched a lot of monsters in episode 1. And in this season, we didn't get to see nothing. We didn't see crap. Well, I think that's all the ratings on IMDb for the episode. So that's that. So, Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, apparently, they don't have any consensus yet on the rating for season 2. There's only one critic rating, which if I go down to see it, let's look at his review real quick. One review on Rotten Tomatoes on One Punch Man season 2. I think it's in Spanish. Yep. Typical. Very typical. Let me translate it real quick. And it didn't translate crap for me. Thank you, Google. Well, if I could find a number he gave for it, which I don't think he did. I don't think he gave an actual number for it. Well, fine then, I guess. Oh, yeah, he did. I don't know if that's his rating or the rating he gave for the episode, but it's a 2.5 stars. That's pretty mean. 2.5 freaking stars. Yeah, he did. He gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Ouch. He says you won't lose interest in season 2, despite the anime becoming as lazy as its protagonist. Well, you know, he's not wrong, because Saitama was very lazy this season. And the animation was very lazy as well, but 2.5 stars, like, come on. At least 3. At least 3 stars. I would have gave it at least 3. I would have gave it 3 or 4 stars. Probably 3. Because 4 stars I would have gave, like, it would have been really, it had to been really good. I would have given the last episode 5 stars. One thing to note is that season 1 of One Punch Man. Hey, Safe City. Thank you for joining. Dang, I'd watch this. It will spoil me. Sorry you'll get spoiled. I'm so sorry. And you won't even watch this for a while because the dub... the dub is not even out yet for season 2. I don't even know when they'll dub season 2. Cause I know you only watch it in dub. I prefer dub over sub. Unfortunately, I can't wait. Yeah, the final punch in season 2 was almost copy and paste from season 1 opening, which was a bummer. Exactly, that's exactly what I felt. I could tell that it was the same exact punch. Maybe that's why the animation was so good for that punch, because they copied it. Anyways, what was I looking at? Yeah, I was gonna note that season 1 on Rotten Tomatoes is 100% rating. That's crazy. People love season 1. It's amazing. Alright, so IGN's rating. IGN gave season 2 a 5 out of 10. you can't wait because you have to make these reviews. True. Although I could wait if I wanted to and just do it in dub. It's just I wouldn't get as many views on my uh videos. The only way I could get views on it is by doing reactions where I have the video in the corner or something and I actually watch it, which I might have to do for My Hero Academia because I really if they dub it the same time as they sub comes out, then that'll be a lot easier on me. But I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, it's difficult to figure out what to do with these because the reviews that I do for One Punch Man, they take such a long time to do. I have to like watch the episode, get all the clips of the episode, record the review, edit it, process it, upload it, make the thumbnail. Like then they did the Attack on Titan reactions, and it's like all I have to do is just a live stream, like I'm doing right now. No editing involved. It just posts itself after it's done. But anyways, so season 2, One Punch Man got a 5 out of 10 on IGN. That's so bad. It should at least got a 6. I would give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Not a 5. That was painful. So their verdict, this is their verdict. Season 2 of One Punch Man is a half-baked jumble of poor and lazy animation that is far more concerned with staying relevant than being crafted into something worthy of the season that came before it. If you're only in it for the advancement of the plot, it's all here. But it's also all in the manga, and that looks an awful lot better than this season. Ooh, that's harsh. So really, there's not much of a reason to watch season 2. Instead, watch season 1, then rewatch it because it's that good. Wow. But to actually tell people not to watch it. I love One Punch that they said it wasn't as good. Listen, it was good. It was good. It's just, it wasn't as good as season 1. If you can somehow separate it from season 1 and just imagine that season 2 is like a new anime, then season 2 is actually really good because it has good animation and it has good story. But when you compare it to season 1, that's when it is like garbage. Because season 1 is a million times better than season 2 in the art and animation at least. To me, the story of season 2 is better because it actually has a real story. That's what I hated. They basically said rewatch season 1, skip season 2, and then read the manga. Like how can you say that? It's true. It's not that bad. Like, okay, it is bad. The animation is lazy. It's poor animation. It didn't live up to season 1. We get it. But it's still going to be better than reading the manga, because the manga is just pages. At least you can watch it animated. It's hard not to compare. Yes, I know. It's very hard. Listen, I enjoyed season 2. I really did. It had cool fights, had cool moments. It was hilarious. And the new villain is really cool. I love his theme music and everything about him. It's just the animation. Because they had good moments. There was some cool animation moments and fights. But overall, it was just very mediocre animation. Like a normal anime that you watch anywhere else. I enjoyed season 2 as well. Overall, I gave it a 7 out of 10. See, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I think most of the episodes I gave it a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I think there were 2 episodes I gave 10 out of 10, and maybe one that was a 9, I can't remember, but overall, 7 out of 10, that's fair. That would be a good rating. But 5 out of 10, and then telling people to just skip season 2? That's so mean. There's no reason. Let me look at some of the comments people put. I think this is very harsh, but at the same time, this season was worse than the first. I do agree that the fight scenes were not as good, and the beginning of the season had shockingly bad animation, but it improved. That's kind of true. To me, the animation stayed the same. It just had some episodes were better than others. Like episode 1, I think 2. It might have been 1. I think episode 1 had a pretty decent animation. And then 3 and 4, I think 5 as well. There was some in the middle that went back to crap, and then it got good again. I think that's what it was, kind of a hit or miss. We should work at IGN. I would love to. I would love to work at IGN. That'd be amazing. Next comment says, funny thing is IGN gave the new Berserk a better review than this. That's laughable. This season is not a 5, at least a 7.5 or 8. This reviewer is clearly incompetent if he gave it a 5 because he didn't like the fight scenes. Come on, man. True. Very true. I've never watched Berserk, but I've seen enough hate on the new Berserk that it's all CGI and really crap CGI. That for them to give that a better review than season 2 of One Punch Man is definitely laughable. Yeah, people just didn't like the fight scenes. That's all they care about is the fight scenes. They ignore the story. The story was really good, but they ignore it. They just want fighting, and there you go. That's what you get, a 5 out of 10. I actually enjoyed this season. I felt like the animators really enjoyed Garou, since every episode where he was the focus was great, which is true. Every time Garou was around, the episode just got amazing. Also, the animations get way better in the last 3 episodes. I think it's because they use all their budget. If they did not do good, at least on the finale of the season, then it would have been really, really bad. Although the humor was great this season, I just think that pacing was bad. The pacing was weird at times. The pacing was like super fast. Here's all this information, all these monsters, and then super slow. It really showcased this early on. This season was just stopped right in the middle of the manga arc. That's true. That's the other thing too. It felt like it stopped, like the finale of this season felt like it stopped right in the middle of an arc. And it felt weird. It felt weird to end in the middle of something. It's like, wait, he wasn't even, like the villain that was B at the end wasn't even the main threat. He was just a threat. Like all the other monsters. I bet IGN would rate Dragon Ball Super Seasons 1 and 2 higher than One Punch Man Season 2. Probably. And mostly because of nostalgia and people just always doing... Whenever it comes to Dragon Ball, it's almost like it can do no wrong. But, like, for me, I really, really enjoyed Dragon Ball Super for what it was. But there was a lot of problems with it as well. Like, you can't ignore all the problems with it. Just like in Season 2 of One Punch Man, had really good moments, but it had really bad moments. And they should do the same with Dragon Ball Super, not be like, oh, it's amazing always. So, no, it had plenty of bad moments too. Brienne was it for me. That whole heart and love wins, that was absolute trash in Dragon Ball Super. I think a 5 is a little harsh. I'd give it more of a 6 or a 6.5. The issue I had was the pacing of earlier episodes and the disappointing fight scenes. The subpar animation didn't stand out to me until I started rewatching Season 1. Ooh, if you rewatch Season 1 after this, then you'll definitely see the difference. There's a small handful of really nice animated battle scenes in the Season 2, but most of the time they just show people standing still, with their arms moving fast towards each other, which is so meh. Hopefully this show goes back to Madhouse because Saitama deserves better. If they went back to Madhouse, that would be spectacular, but I don't see that happening. Brienne in Xenoverse 2 is my No, Brienne. We don't need Brienne in anything. I just splashed myself in the face. I agree with that guy on on the fact that there were some really nice animated fight scenes in Season 2. That there were really good moments, but most of the fight scenes were just a still image that was like maybe only the arms were moving, and then it was just shaking it really fast, where it looks like they were just like, ah, and that's it. That's the animation, and that is so lazy to do that. You have to be really lazy to do animation like that. Or a really bad budget. Like, what kind of budget did these guys have? Like $5? Like, here, 5 yen? The so-called cliffhanger ending was boring. I didn't even realize that the episode was the season finale, since it didn't end on a high or suspenseful note. But I wouldn't give the season a 5, as a whole 7 seems about right. Which is true. There was no suspense. There was no, like, this is the villain we have to beat, and then they beat him, and that's the finale. It was like, I don't know. It felt like a middle of a season, and that's where we ended. So it was weird. Even if the overall season felt a bit lackluster, a 5 is definitely way too low of a score if you ask me. They still had some fantastic moments and gorgeous shots in here. I would have rated at least a solid 7. Everyone's given it a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Right in there would have been perfect. Not a 5, man. It's bad. It's probably more of a 6 or 6.5. See, everybody's the same. But that said, I hope they go back to Madhouse. I'm not sure if JC staff is really bad at animation or what. I wouldn't say they're bad at animation because there was some good animation in there. I would just say they don't have... JC staff doesn't seem to have the same love and admiration for the story and characters as Madhouse did. I like how the community came together to give it a 7 out of 10. Yep. 7 out of 10 is what it deserves. Which, yes, it is sad, because Season 1 is 10 out of 10, for sure. And you would think that the next season that builds on everything from the first would be better, but all it took was bad animation, apparently. 5 out of 10, I'd say 7 at least, in my opinion. There you go. Well, that's pretty much IGN. That's IGN's friggin' review, but I would have gave it 7 out of 10 for sure. At least 7 out of 10. Some of the villains, like Elder Centipede, a lot of the monsters are really cool design. I like Elder Centipede's creepy ass face coming out of faces. Like, it was really weird. Genos' fight was amazing. When he fought against Elder Centipede, it was so cool, the things that he could do. His fights are always, like, Genos' fights are always amazing. It's just that he loses every time. That you're like, okay, well, at least he gave it a really good fight. Before you end the stream, tell us what you think about the upcoming One Punch Man game. Alright, so they're coming out with a game. What I really think about the game is that it's like a carbon copy of all the other anime games we've seen. It looks just like Naruto Storm. It looks just like that My Hero Academia game. I can't remember what... No Heroes or No More Heroes. I can't remember what the game's called. It looks like all of them, where it's just fighting, same exact like button mashing type of game. I don't know how to feel about it. The only thing I think is funny is that when you play as Saitama, or if Saitama is the person you're fighting against, you can't do crap against him. He literally is just walking and he's getting hit, and it's just like nothing's happening. I think it's hilarious that they kept it in there. And that they didn't nerf him whatsoever. So it's like, how is this game going to be played? Like, can you play as Saitama? Because you can... What kind of a game is that? You just beat everybody. But otherwise, to me, it just looks like the same anime game that we've gotten a million times, just reskinned with One Punch Man. So I don't know if I'll be getting it. I thought about getting the My Hero Academia game. Back when it was announced, like a long time ago. But when I saw how it plays, I was like, maybe when it's down in price. I don't even know how much it is now, but I don't know. I played so much Naruto Storm that I'm so used to that gameplay style that I kind of wanted something different. Like, when you see games like Attack on Titan, like I saw some previews for the Attack on Titan Final Battle game. That one looks fun. Because that one looks completely different than other anime games. But this One Punch Man game just looks like all the same. Same thing we've seen all before. Pick any character you want and fight one-on-one battles or whatever, team battles, and it follows the story, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I probably won't be getting it. I can't remember if it was for the Switch. If they're for the Switch, I'll probably get them because I kind of like having a handheld game where I can just sit, relax, and just play a fighting game. But if it's only for PS4, I probably won't get it. Because it's just like, eh. The only anime games I've ever bought are Naruto Storm and Xenoverse. I'll probably get the new Dragon Ball game when it comes out. The problem with Attack on Titan, the game, is that it's like the game before it, just with more mission. I see. I never played the Attack on Titan games. I just saw what they look like and thought it was really cool how you could zip around buildings and fly around Titans. I think I heard a lot of people say it gets really repetitive after a while, but I mean, that's with a lot of anime games. Honestly, they just get repetitive. My biggest problem with games like Xenoverse was that, sorry, was that it gets repetitive. I'd get all the moves that I like, all the powers that I like, and then I would just use those continuously. I'd get a certain fighting style in my mind that I would use against every opponent, and once it works and I can beat everybody, I just keep using it, and it gets repetitive after a while. It's like, okay, I'm gonna use this attack first, and then I'll use this attack, and that's it. And it's like, okay, over and over again, it gets boring after a while. But yeah, DBZ Kakarot is the game to look out for. That one's an interesting one. That one's really interesting. I'm hoping it's not going to be really boring, because the problem with open world games is you have to fill them with really interesting things. If it's like an empty open world and you just fly around, you find a random guy, he's like, hey, get this fish for me, or get this monster, and whatever. And it's like, okay, you get it, and you get a little prize or whatever. If that's the game, along with the main story, then it's going to be kind of boring. Because if they had included Super, I would have been more interested. But the fact that it's the same story that we've played a billion times. Like, you know how many times I've seen the Frieza arc and the Cell Saga and all that stuff? Like, I don't know how many times I can keep playing it. But I am interested in it because I love the art style. The art style in the new DBZ game looks amazing. It looks a lot like the anime, and the open world concept's really cool. It's just, I hope it plays nice and that it's fun to play and doesn't get tedious or repetitive. That's the problem with anime games. They get tedious and repetitive, and then it's boring. But anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, anything that you take away from Season 2 is just that don't expect it to be like Season 1, because it's far from Season 1. You kind of have to imagine it as its own separate thing and just go with it, because it is good in its own right. It's at least a 7 out of 10, which is above average. It's a good anime or a good season, but if you compare it to Season 1, you will be disappointed, because right away, right when I watched episode 1, you can feel the difference automatically. The way they shade the characters, like Saitama looks like he has a tan a lot of the episodes. Like, he has like a gradient color on his head that's like really dark. And I noticed the outlines of the characters are really thin and kind of like faded. And in Season 1, they're solid dark lines. You can see them really easily. I don't know. I feel like small things like that, plus the fluidity, they're missing the fluidity, that stuff, and the choreography is really good in Season 1, and in Season 2 is just Dragon Ball Z, fists flying, them yelling stuff, and somebody gets hit in the face and flies back, and some boulders blow up or something. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If there's anything else you want to ask me on how I feel, is let me know, and I'll be glad to answer. But that's pretty much all I have to say about Season 2. I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm disappointed. As a fan of the series, I'm greatly disappointed of what could have been. It's almost like Game of Thrones. I'm disappointed in what could have been. And sad that it had to go the route that it did. And that's how I feel with One Punch Man Season 2. As far as all the anime that I've watched so far this year, starting with Promised Neverland, Mob Psycho Season 2, Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2, and this one, I would say my favorite so far is still Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. What Mob Psycho Season 2 did was so spectacular. Animation, story, everything was... It felt like they built it with such love and admiration that you can feel it when you're watching the show. Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 was also spectacular. An amazing job. You know they love what they do, what they make. But I am worried about season 4 of Attack on Titan, because for it to be the final season, because it feels like, I mean, I don't think the manga's finished. I haven't heard anything about the manga being finished. So if the manga's not finished and yet we're getting a final season, then that's worrisome. That's really worrisome for me. Would you still watch it if season 3 came out the same studio? Yes. I'll watch whenever season 3 comes out, I will still watch it. I will still review it because I am a fan of One Punch Man. I love the story. I love the characters. Even though it's become just a mediocre anime. Like if season 3 is the same as season 2, it's just a normal anime, but it is enjoyable and the story is fun. The fights can be fun if they really try. But I would watch season 3 for sure, and I'll review season 3 whenever it comes out. But for me, Mob Psycho season 2 is the best one so far this year. Promised Neverland is really amazing. I had my girlfriend watch Promised Neverland, and she really enjoyed that one. She's currently in part 2 of season 3. Right now, she's watching it in dub, so it'll be a while before she's done. But once she's done, I'll do a discussion video with her on how she feels about all of Attack on Titan so far, and then our thoughts on season 3 as a whole. Next week, Thursday, I will be uploading a new series for the channel, a reaction series, because, I mean, I don't have any anime now to watch. Everything's done until October. October, I will be watching My Hero Academia Season 4. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, though. I have a bunch of choices, but before I get into that, my new reaction series is going to be, I'm having my girlfriend watch the Kanto or Indigo League series of Pokemon. She's never seen Pokemon. She's never watched Pokemon. She's seen clips and stuff of Pokemon. She's never actually watched Pokemon. And that's my childhood. That's my first anime, and technically, because I didn't get into anime until I watched Naruto, but Pokemon was technically the first one. Same, I don't have anything for when I come back yet. I can't think of any anime. There's a huge push for an anime called Dr. Stone, which apparently is a sci-fi shonen jump anime or whatever, but it doesn't look too interesting to me. I'm gonna kind of hang back and see how it turns out. If it is good, I'll take a look at it, but I mean, there's not really anything till October, till we get My Hero. Other than that, I'm watching Stranger Things, Stranger Things, by the way, amazing. How they make each season so spectacular, and just always having a good story, and good characters, and good everything, it just blows my mind. I love it. But yeah, she will be watching Pokemon, and the first episode reaction will be coming out next Thursday. Now, it's been really tricky to avoid copyright with that. I haven't watched Stranger... What? Huggy Face! There you go. You have a thing to watch. You have something to watch now, and for when you come back, because Stranger Things is awesome. So good. For me, it's better because I love everything 80s. I love 80s movies, music, everything. And when it comes to Stranger Things, it has all of that, plus a really engaging story with amazing characters. Which is crazy because I have never watched Game of Thrones. You've never watched Game of Thrones? Oh my god. I thought you've been watching Game of Thrones. I can't remember if somebody else was. I don't know. But Game of Thrones is my favorite show of all time. Of all the TV shows, not including anime, live action shows, Game of Thrones is it. Game of Thrones is the top one. If you can ignore the sexual stuff that they have in Game of Thrones, because there's a load of it in season 1 and on, but the story and the acting is just on a whole nother level. It feels like a movie, not a TV show. The budget and production value they put in is insane. I love Game of Thrones. But Stranger Things is like a top competitor with Game of Thrones, so definitely get on that. Watch those shows. I highly recommend them. But yeah, she'll be watching Pokemon. I've been trying to avoid copyright with them, so few things that I was able to do. I have already 6 episodes like uploaded and edited and ready to go. And I've noticed that what happens is if I keep them in private, they'll still get copyright strikes. Well, they'll get copyright claimed, not striked. They don't get striked when they're in private, I noticed. Only if it was like posted and then gets copyrighted that it gets a strike. So I keep them there in private until to see if they get claimed. But how I've been avoiding it is I have to make the footage transparent. So it's a little difficult to see sometimes, but I mean, it's the only thing I can do to avoid copyright. The audio is all there. You can hear the audio perfectly. And of course, I have to do the fair use, YouTube's fair use thing, where it has to be 10 minutes or less. So it's all 10-minute segments of us watching. Every episode is cut down to 10 minutes long. So a lot of editing involved, but I already got 6 episodes uploaded and ready. So I'll be uploading them every Thursday, starting next Thursday. So if you're a fan of Pokemon, definitely look out for those because that's something that it's been a lot of fun to do with her. And once we're done with the Kanto region, I'll put up a poll for an anime if for all you guys to vote on for us to watch, but that's far, far in the future because it's gonna be a while we're gonna be in Pokemon. Yeah, I stated that in my video that you have to be really careful about showcasing anything anime related because anything is open for the copyright claim. Exactly. Anything that can be copyright claimed. I was really close to losing my channel back when I was reviewing the Boruto manga chapters. I got hit with 2 copyright strikes back to back because they copyright one video and then they went to a video from the past and copyright that one and strike that one as well. I had 2 strikes out of 3 and I had to wait 3 months to get rid of those strikes. So I'm being very, very cautious. And so far, everything is good. All 6 Pokemon reactions are uploaded to YouTube and they're in private. There's been a couple of times that they've been claimed. They've been copyright claimed. Just recently, I uploaded episode 6 reaction of Pokemon and it got copyright claimed by ShowPro. ShowPro is the one that's been copyright claiming Pokemon. And what I do is I delete the video, I go back into editing, and I just make it more transparent by 5 to 10%, and I re-upload it, and it's fine. They don't mess with it at all. It's not them because it's in private, so they can't see it. It's the YouTube algorithm is what's catching them as copyright. So if you can manipulate the footage, cut it down, transparent. I've been considering to flip it horizontally, but I mean, I kind of want it to be true to how it is. So I've been just doing transparent. And so far it's worked. All the episodes are fine now. Everything is good. I haven't got any strikes. So we'll see what happens when I start uploading that series, when they're actually available for everyone to see. It'll be interesting what happens, but I mean, I'm willing to take the risk as far as I'll only be uploading one at a time and see what happens. But if it gets too dangerous, then I'll have to figure something else out. When it comes to My Hero Academia Season 4, there's a few things I want to do. So the first thing is I want to get my girlfriend to catch up on My Hero. She has not seen any My Hero Academia. So I want to catch her up on that so that she can be with me on those videos. Now, the only thing is, I don't know what I'm doing for those videos. So my choices are, either I can do live reactions, like I did with Attack on Titan. So I can do live stream reactions like that. I can do the same exact reviews that I did for One Punch Man, where I have the clips of the episode and I just talk about it. And my other option is to do reactions like everybody else does reactions, where they have the footage in the bottom and I'm watching the show and reacting to it, and it's just cut down, just like the Pokemon ones are going to be. So those are my choices. I know that if I did a reaction with footage, I would get a way more views, but I do run the risk of copyright. So, and there's more editing, a lot more editing involved if I do that. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with My Hero, so we'll see. I have plenty of time to figure it out. But in the meantime, you got Pokemon reactions coming starting next week, and Walking Dead video game gameplay will be finished in August. I think August 27th is the final Walking Dead gameplay. After that, I will be playing Minecraft. Now, I know PewDiePie has been playing Minecraft, and that's not a coincidence. I mean, it is a coincidence. I had planned to play Minecraft or revisit Minecraft for a long time now after I knew I was going to be done playing Walking Dead. And then out of nowhere, he starts playing Minecraft on YouTube, and it's like now a trending thing. Everyone's playing Minecraft now, and it's like, what the hell? I was going to play it first, but I'm too late. So that'll be in August or September is when you'll start seeing episodes of Minecraft for the gameplay. I will be playing the new Star Wars game that's coming out, Fallen Order. I will be playing that on my channel when it comes out, and I will be playing Modern Warfare, the remake for the reboot, I guess, for Modern Warfare. I'll be live streaming that instead of Fortnite once that comes out. And I will be playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake or remaster or whatever. I'll be playing that because I've never played Final Fantasy VII, so I think that playing the remake will be a good introduction to that. I'll be waiting for those videos. I had started playing Minecraft with my friends too before this whole Minecraft thing started, but I stopped because I didn't want people to think I was bandwagoning off. Exactly. Bandwagoning off of PewDiePie. Exactly. I don't know what it is. I was literally like, okay, what am I gonna play after Walking Dead? Oh, how about Minecraft? I really like Minecraft. I think it'd be really fun. No one's really playing Minecraft anymore, so it'll be a good thing to like be different than everybody else. And then all of a sudden, he decides to play Minecraft out of nowhere. And then now everybody's playing Minecraft. And it's like, wait, why? Why is it that when I decide to do it, everyone's doing it? But I'm gonna do it anyway, so it's fine. Whatever, I guess. But by the time I actually upload them, Minecraft will be dead again, I guess. But man, we are getting the same games, which is going to be sick. Yes. If we're getting the same video games, then it'll be good. I'm not gonna get Cyberpunked because even though they tried to sell it with Keanu Reeves, it's one of those games that looks like it could be good or it could be trash. And in my mind, it's already sort of in the trash area, where it's one of those games that's going to be forgettable, that people will play and maybe enjoy, but then it's just going to be forgotten in a giant heap of video games. So I don't think I'm not gonna play Cyberpunk, but Star Wars 1, Final Fantasy 7, Modern Warfare, I'll be trying to get those. Personal games, I'll be getting Link's Awakening for the Switch. I can't wait for that to come out. I can't record that for my channel because I have no way to record off the Switch, but I would have loved to do that. The main games I'm getting, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and I will be trying that One Punch Man game. Let me know about the One Punch Man game, and the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, because I will probably be getting the Dragon Ball Z game, but not right away. I think I'll wait on it. So if you get it, you'll probably get it way before me. Let me know how it is, and let me know how the One Punch Man game is. But anyways, guys, I've rambled on far long enough. It's time to go do other things. So thank you so much for watching my One Punch Man Season 2 discussion. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Check out my Walking Dead gameplay videos, my Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay, my live reactions of Attack on Titan, and my other anime reviews. All that stuff's on the channel. Check out my Discord, Instagram, Facebook. All that stuff is in the description below. I'll soon be adding a Patreon link down there because I am going to be doing Patreon because that's a nice way to somehow get revenue for my channel, because I really need things for my channel. I know it sounds desperate, but if I had a better camera and better streaming camera, lighting, all that stuff, it would just help the channel so much. And I'll be setting up a Patreon for the Pokemon reactions and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I don't expect to make anything, honestly, but that's what I'll be doing. It'll be in the description, not in this video, but in the Pokemon reaction one. And also same with the Switch. I always want to upload Smash, but I have no means of uploading. Peace out, man. We'll be waiting for videos. I'd love to upload Smash as well. I love Super Smash Brothers, but I need, that's another thing for the channel, is the Elgato system, or a little device or whatever that you can record gameplay off of any system. That's what I need, but it's so expensive. So without that, I'm stuck with what I'm doing. But anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. And yeah, I guess whenever season 3 comes out of One Punch Man, I'll be here. But until then, check out Pokemon, and once in October, My Hero comes out. So have a great one.